The palace just shook the world, because if even half of these whispers are true, then the British monarchy may be standing on the edge of its most explosive identity crisis in generations. For years, people laughed off the rumors, rolled their eyes at the speculation, and called it internet madness. But now, the silence inside royal walls feels louder than any denial ever spoken. And at the center of it all stands Prince William, reportedly refusing to let another question pass unanswered. This is no simple family argument. This is no petty feud between brothers. This is about bloodlines, legacy, succession, and the kind of truth institutions spend centuries protecting. While Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continue their California life under endless cameras and controversy, something colder has been unfolding back in London. Insiders whisper that William has grown tired of confusion, tired of headlines, tired of shadows hanging over the crown, and now he has allegedly decided enough is enough. According to swirling reports, a private DINA report was recently submitted quietly, almost like it was meant to close the matter forever. A neat package, a solved puzzle, a final stamp of certainty. But instead of calming the storm, it detonated a bigger one. William reportedly rejected it outright, not delayed, not reconsidered, rejected. Why? Because anything tied to royal succession, royal records, and royal legitimacy would allegedly need to pass through official UK-controlled channels only. That single move changed the temperature of the entire story, and suddenly people began asking dangerous questions. Why was private verification being offered in the first place? Why now? Why outside palace-approved systems? Why does every answer seem to create three more mysteries? The palace, according to insiders, now wants controlled processes, secured custody chains, recognized labs, zero ambiguity. Because when crowns are involved, uncertainty becomes poison. Then came another detail. Small, strange, almost forgettable unless you know scandals often hide inside tiny numbers. A reported $499 transaction tied to a discreet American medical facility surfaced in whispered circles. $499. Not millions, not lavish royal spending, just a precise, peculiar amount. And somehow that tiny figure became the kind of clue gossip empires are built on. Why there? Why then? Why hidden behind layered entities? The deeper people looked, the messier it became. Old photographs were re-examined. Public appearances were dissected frame by frame. Dresses, angles, movement, timelines, details once dismissed as harmless, now treated like puzzle pieces in a locked room mystery. Some called it absurd obsession. Others called it overdue scrutiny. Either way, the palace could no longer pretend nobody was asking. Then attention turned to tradition. Royal births have historically been announced with ceremonies, signatures, doctors, formality, the full machinery of state confidence. Yet critics noted differences in recent records, fueling endless online debates. What was once waved away as privacy now became a giant flashing question mark. And once the public smells inconsistency, it never stops digging. Even more intriguing were claims that official documents were later adjusted, names revised, titles inserted, administrative corrections perhaps. Routine changes, maybe. But in royal drama, no paperwork change is ever routine. Every edit becomes a clue. Every correction becomes motive. Every delay becomes suspicion. Meanwhile, William was said to be building something bigger than a response, a fortress. Reports described a shadowy review panel involving legal minds, historians, constitutional advisors, and figures trusted to handle sensitive lineage questions. If true, this would mean the matter had moved beyond gossip and into institutional seriousness. Once lawyers and archivists enter the room, family tension becomes state business. And then money entered the battlefield. The legacy of Princess Diana, emotional, symbolic, and financial, reportedly became part of tense private discussions. Funds, inheritances, future allocations, family rights. Few things ignite royal conflict faster than combining old wounds with new wealth. Harry, according to circulating claims, saw this as deeply personal. William allegedly saw it as procedural. That difference alone says everything about the two brothers now. Then another bombshell rumor spread. A sealed memo tied to King Charles III had resurfaced. The supposed subject line alone sent shockwaves through commentators. Whether fully true or not, the story gained traction because it fit the mood perfectly. A monarchy caught between grandfatherly emotion and constitutional duty. Charles, many believe, has spent years trying to avoid open warfare, but even kings run out of middle ground. And just when everything felt like smoke and speculation, a real-world image reportedly cut through the noise. At exactly 6:42 a.m. a.m., a private jet descended into London skies. Not a commercial arrival, not a casual family stop. A secure landing. Black vehicles waiting, officials present, structured movement, controlled optics. Then the door opened and Prince Harry reportedly emerged. Tired, serious, pressured. Then he turned back and 2 children stepped into view. That image changed everything. Because if Harry truly arrived with the children but without Meghan Markle, the symbolism is thunderous. Was it an olive branch, a direct appeal to the king, a move around lawyers, a family fracture, or the final desperate act of a man trying to regain control of a story that has swallowed everyone involved? Nobody knows, but everyone is talking. Inside palace circles, whispers now claim senior royals are closing ranks. Princess Anne reportedly backs firmness. Others allegedly agree the crown cannot look uncertain, because once monarchy looks confused about its own rules, modern relevance collapses fast. Now London waits. Cameras are loaded. Statements are being drafted. Corridors are tense. Every car entering palace gates becomes breaking news. Every delayed announcement becomes a clue. Every silence sounds like strategy. And somewhere behind closed doors, 3 questions may decide everything. What is true? What can be proven? And what price will this family pay if the answers split them forever? Now the pressure has become unbearable, because what began as rumors in the shadows has reportedly transformed into a full-scale reckoning inside the House of Windsor. The palace atmosphere is said to be cold, strategic, and dangerously tense. No one is speaking loudly, yet every silence feels like a warning. Every closed door feels like a decision being made. And at the center of this storm stands Prince William, a man insiders claim has fully stepped into future king mode, determined to prove that emotion will never outrank duty. If true, then this is the moment William stopped being only a brother and became the guardian of the institution itself. Sources whisper that a final report has now reached only a tiny inner circle, not dozens of aides, not gossiping courtiers, just a few people trusted with the kind of information that could shake centuries of tradition. That alone tells you how serious this has allegedly become, because when royal matters are reduced to only 3 or 4 decision makers, it means the stakes are no longer personal. They are constitutional. And once something becomes constitutional, feelings no longer leave the room. Facts do, or at least whatever can survive official scrutiny. The most dramatic claim of all is that William has reportedly prepared a speech of enormous significance, one centered on lineage, continuity, and the future shape of monarchy itself. That is not normal language. That is crisis language. That is the kind of wording used when an institution wants to appear calm while standing inches away from an earthquake. If such a speech truly exists, then the palace may already know that whatever comes next will divide public opinion instantly. Some will praise firmness, others will scream cruelty. But William, according to these whispers, is allegedly ready to carry the backlash if it means protecting the crown. Meanwhile, Prince Harry is said to be trapped in the most painful position of all. He is both royal insider and royal exile. He knows the system because he was raised by it, yet he has spent years attacking it from the outside. That contradiction now hangs over every move he makes. If he pushes too hard, critics say he is waging war on his own blood. If he stays silent, others say silence is admission. If he returns seeking peace, skeptics call it strategy. Every path before him seems lined with traps. And then there is Meghan Markle, whose absence from the reported London arrival has only intensified the frenzy. Some claim it was logistical. Others insist it signals a deeper fracture in how the Sussex household wants to handle the palace. There are whispers that Harry may prefer reconciliation while Meghan prefers legal confrontation. There are opposite whispers claiming she is protecting the children while Harry is trying to save his father relationship. No one can confirm any of it, yet the fact that her absence became such a headline proves one thing. In royal drama, even not appearing becomes an event. Behind the scenes, King Charles III is rumored to be facing the cruelest balance of all. He is father, grandfather, monarch, and symbol at the same time. Ordinary families struggle with one role. He must carry 4. If he supports William, he risks deepening the divide with Harry. If he softens toward Harry, he risks making the crown appear weak and confused. If he delays, the speculation grows louder. If he acts decisively, the emotional cost could be permanent. This is why insiders say Charles has looked increasingly burdened, because some decisions cannot be won, only survived. Then comes the issue nobody can ignore anymore: trust. That single word reportedly sits at the heart of everything. Not just dana, not paperwork, not titles, not succession. Trust. The palace allegedly feels trust was broken through media attacks, memoir accusations, private family conversations made public, and repeated challenges to royal boundaries. Harry's side reportedly feels trust was broken long before that through lack of support, coldness, and public abandonment. And that is why this conflict feels impossible to solve, because facts can be argued, procedures can be reviewed. But trust, once shattered, rarely returns in its original form. Financial consequences are also said to be hanging in the air. If family funds, inheritances, or future discretionary allocations are truly being reviewed, then the conflict has already moved beyond symbolism. Money in royal families is never just money. It represents recognition, status, acceptance, continuity, and power. To freeze access is to send a message. To restore access is to send another one. Every financial move speaks even when no statement is issued. Outside palace gates, the world watches like it is witnessing a historical thriller in real time. Supporters of Harry say he has been scapegoated and punished for choosing independence. Supporters of William say he is doing the hard job nobody else wanted to do. Critics of Meghan call her the architect of division. Defenders of Meghan call her the woman who exposed hypocrisy. Everyone has chosen sides, and that may be the deepest damage of all. Because monarchy survives partly through mystique, but mystique dies when the audience turns into rival factions. What happens next could reshape more than headlines. If the final ruling reportedly confirms full recognition and closes every question, then Harry may claim vindication and the palace may quietly try to heal. But if it goes the other way, even partially, then history changes instantly. Titles, perceptions, family relationships, inheritance expectations, public narratives, everything would be rewritten in one brutal sweep. That is why the waiting feels electric. Because some moments are loud when they arrive and others are silent until suddenly the world realizes nothing will be the same afterward. And perhaps the most haunting part of this entire saga is that beneath all the protocol, wealth, and spectacle, it is still a family tearing itself apart under global lights. Two brothers once walking behind their mother's coffin, now standing on opposite sides of loyalty and legacy. A father trying to hold together both crown and bloodline. Children growing up inside a conflict they never chose. That is the human ache hidden beneath the royal glitter. Princess Diana. So now the palace waits. London waits. The cameras wait. And somewhere behind ancient walls, a final decision may already be written, sealed, and ready to explode into the world. When it comes, it will not just answer questions. It may create 100 more. Because scandals end, but fractures echo for generations.